Yo, what is up guys? This is Pedro here, and in today's video I will be talking about the possibility of the Washington football team trading for Aaron Rodgers, how realistic it is, and how much we would have to give up to get him. And I'll also react to, Ron Rivera's comments about the Washington football team looking to bring in about 4 or 5 guys to try out for the team, and looking to sign about 4 more guys, and also talk about the possibility of Ryan Kerrigan returning to the Washington football team. So if you guys are new, make sure to subscribe for Washington and NFL content. So let's get right into the video. So first we'll start with Aaron Rodgers, and yes, I know it's a long shot, but we're still looking for a quarterback of the future. And Bill Barnwell from ESPN made an article talking about Aaron Rodgers, the likelihood of him getting traded, and 7 teams that he saw would fit for Aaron Rodgers to get traded to, and the Washington football team was second on the list behind only the Broncos. So there is some buzz about him if he does get traded, Washington could definitely be one of the teams in the mix. The only issue is, would Aaron Rodgers want to come to DC? Because there's been some rumors he wanted to go, to California where he's from, but most of those teams are filled up, and then maybe the Broncos as well. But let's look at this right here. So this is what Bill Barnwell had to say, and then after that we'll get into Ron Rivera's comments and Ryan Kerrigan. So he says, I don't think it's remotely out of the question to suggest that Washington would be among the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl if it pulled off a Rodgers trade. Washington's defense ranked 3rd in the league in defensive DVOA last season. It's kind of like a defensive efficiency, and arguably got better in free agency by signing William Jackson. If that seems outlandish, remember that the 7-9 Buccaneers finished 5th in DVOA in 2019 and then added Tom Brady, and they won the Super Bowl. Obviously, Tom Brady's a little bit different than Aaron Rodgers, just in terms of like what he brings to the table. I mean, just by signing Tom Brady, the Bucs got so many other players to go there, but it could be similar if, a team got Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, guys, I mean, he is arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has had a lot more, postseason success lately, but last year, at least in the regular season, Aaron Rodgers was the best quarterback in the NFL with 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, winning MVP. So, him, Mahomes, Allen, and Wilson are all up there in that top 4, and bringing Rodgers to DC really could make us Super Bowl contenders, or really any of these elite quarterbacks. And Deshaun Watson, obviously he would have been a possibility, but now with all the stuff going on, it might be a while. And here's what I'll say about the Aaron Rodgers trade. I do not think he's going to get traded this offseason. I really don't. I think he's probably moving on from Green Bay, but I think it might be next offseason, and that's more realistic. And hey, that's fine. We can go with this year with Ryan Fitzpatrick and get a franchise quarterback this next offseason, because you never know. There's so many of these quarterbacks, disgruntled quarterbacks, that want out. Maybe Russell Wilson wants out. We'll see what happens with Deshaun Watson and Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see. But bringing Aaron Rodgers to DC would be absolutely amazing. I'll look at, I'll read some more of the article. Rodgers would be a transformative quarterback for a Washington team that has cycled through starter after starter over the past 25 years. He wouldn't be a long-term solution, but here's the thing. He could still play for 4+ years. Who knows? And here's the thing. We have the draft capital to give up, and now that we have a lot of the pieces in place, we have a good offensive line, we got some weapons on the offense. Yes, we do still have some holes, but we can start giving up draft capital because we don't have too many holes. If we would have traded up this year in the draft, maybe gave up our first this year, our second this year, and next year's first, we would still have a bunch of holes. But with this year's draft capital, we were able to fill, a lot of our holes, and we might be able to give up a bunch of draft capital this next season once we're ready, assuming that our draft picks do perform well this season, that we could end up trading some draft capital, maybe a couple first-round picks and a player or so to get our franchise quarterback. Could be in the draft or could be in the offseason. This is what he said for Rodgers. It would take 2022 first-round pick, 2022 second-round pick, 2023 first-round pick, 2023 second-round pick. So basically 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Matt Ioannidis. And I'm totally fine, honestly, giving up any of the defensive linemen not named Chase Young and really not named Montez Sweat, because we have so much depth in the interior with Matt Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne, Tim Settle. If we trade one of them, we still have an elite interior. So, and you're probably going to have to move on from one of them in the next couple years due to contract issues. So, in any of these trades to get a quarterback, I definitely, no doubt, would be willing to throw in one of the defensive linemen as long as it's not named, that guy's not named Chase Young. And same with Montez Sweat. So that's kind of the it with Aaron Rodgers. But I honestly do think the Washington football team is in position next offseason to get their franchise quarterback, because most of the holes on offense and defense were filled. So the only big hole remaining really is the quarterback position, long-term quarterback position. So now moving on to Ron Rivera's comments, on the JP and B. Mitch show, Ron Rivera said that the team has 4 roster spots to fill, and the team's pro scouts are looking to bring in 4 or 5 guys for workouts. So they're going to bring in some undrafted free agents and some, regular free agents like, Trey Boston, guys like that. I'm not saying they're going to bring Trey Boston in, but I'm just saying they're going to bring in some undrafted guys to try out and some, veterans to try out. And, they still have, I think it's 4 guys. They have 4 roster spots available. So they might sign a couple undrafted free agents, and hey, maybe they'll sign someone like Trey Boston or Ryan Kerrigan later on, but they might want to see what their young guys are doing first in terms of, the edge rushers, in terms of the depth guys, and same thing with the free safety position before they go out and sign Ryan Kerrigan or a free safety, maybe Malik Hooker or Trey Boston. John Kahn, this is what he said about Ryan Kerrigan. One thing to note, was told that the door is not closed on Ryan Kerrigan's return. Washington wants to see how the young defensive ends have progressed when they get them on the field. So obviously Ryan Kerrigan, if he comes back, he's not going to be a starter, but they want to see, obviously how Chase Young and Montez Sweat are doing, but more importantly, how these edge depth guys, William Bradley King, James Smith Williams, Shaka Toney, how are they doing? Do they look good? Because if they look good, there's no reason to bring in Ryan Kerrigan, or it's less likely at least that Ryan Kerrigan comes if those guys look good, or 2 out of those 3 guys look good, because they did invest 2 7th-round picks on defensive ends. But we'll see. I would like the idea of bringing Ryan Kerrigan back. Very productive this past season. In the limited snaps, he got 5.5 sacks. So if he can be another, situational pass rusher, get us some sacks in big-time situations, and he's a great guy for the culture. Been in DC his whole career since 2011, and maybe he gets to 100 career sacks for the Washington football team. So that's the video right there. Let me know what you guys think on those 3 things. The Aaron Rodgers stuff, the Ryan Kerrigan stuff, and any other free agents you would like the Washington football team to sign. I might make a video on that separately in the next couple days. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.